I am Saeed Rasool and you're watching Belizean Legend.
This is Belizean Legends and I'm Bilal Morris. Today we will be speaking with an outstanding Belizean Muslim that came from the Islamic community of Belize that goes all the way back to the 1970s. Saeed Rasool was one of the pioneering members of the Belizean Muslim community. He worked tirelessly with the first experience during the Nation of Islam and assisted brothers like Nuri Muhammad, Ismail Shabazz, and many others in building that community, in building the base, the structure that we now see today that is called Islamic Mission of Belize. Saeed Rasool is a ex-Marine, a veteran of the United States military, a brother that have served in militarily. He have been on the ground and has developed a large body of work in terms of social work on the Belizean scene and in the United States, in working in the inner cities as a social worker. And presently Saeed Rasool, who has just received his MSW, his Masters in Social Work, is now working with veterans that are coming in from the military, from the wars and so on, out that the United States has involved itself in. But today we want to talk with Saeed Rasool basically about the Islamic community of Belize and that dynamic work that he did on the ground there. Brother Saeed, assalamu alaikum, my brother. It's a pleasure to have you come, man. And
Thank you.
Your visit, your little short visit here from San Antonio, Texas to visit us here in Los Angeles is a pleasure and an honor because you took out time to talk with me here. Saeed, I want to go right into your work as a dynamic member of the Muslim community in 1975 and 76, and I think you go earlier than that, from the first temple that was raised on Croix Road and on Blue Street.
Well, I heard about those.
You heard about those.
Yeah.
Talk about where your Muslim Islamic activity began and how did you come into the faith?
Yeah, I took my Shahada at Croix Road. And then I think after Croix Road we moved to our Racecourse Street. But it was unique in the sense that you have a small community. You know, upstairs was a masjid, downstairs was a school. You know, a small community that provided, work. Selling paper, or selling the bean pie, or selling burgers. So it was a good experience. And back in those days, we used to, I'm not quite sure, I think we met like two days a week, and they taught us drill. So you had to do your right turn, your left turn, so all of this was a
high discipline structure.
Good experience. So to a great degree, I've always been exposed to the British Gurkhas in Belize. So that was like a natural.
You were in the Belize Defense Force?
No, well, I wasn't in the Belize Defense Force, but when I was in Boy Scouts, I used to see the British Gurkhas, passing by.
Yes.
And I said, I want to be like one of these guys too,
Yes.
So when I came to the United States, my brother was in the army, and I told him, hey, what could I do? He said, hey, I always liked the Marine Corps uniform, so he put me into the Marine Corps. But what I saw in Islam, many people ask me what I saw in Islam. And basically what I saw in Islam was that simplicity.
Yes.
God is one, the message is one, mankind is one, from God we came, to Him is our return. Those basic fundamental ethics. And one good thing about it is I was brought up as a Christian, so I didn't want to give up Jesus.
Yes.
And then when I realized there was a whole book on Mary, and there was so many verses on Jesus, everything felt so natural. No complications. So Islam was a natural, transition for me. Answer all the questions, socially, politically, economically. The answers were there.
For you.
Yeah.
In your work, Saeed, you embraced Islam at a very young age. I think you said you were like
I heard when I was 16 years old.
And you brought a lot of brothers with you too, because you were able to give dawah to Abdullah Muhammad, which is Hubert Pipersburg, and Nuri Akbar, who is Derek Estrada.
Yeah.
And for viewers, a lot of people will know that this brother here has made a big impact on a lot of heavy people today who has risen in the Belizean society as scholars. And Saeed Rasool goes way back, a very humble brother. But Saeed, we want to talk about your work, man, because when you embrace Islam and you come in there, you brought that whole scout, you brought that discipline in with you. You brought a high quality kind of profile, and no nonsense kind of thing. How did your work get started there?
I'll be honest. I was one of the younger brothers there.
Yes.
And it was Sister Hanifa that was my mentor.
Yes.
You know, Omar, that was, say, hey man, you gotta cool down here, you gotta take this slow. And Kaleem was,
yes. And
running.
Hanifa, for the viewers, that is Eleanor Renault. And go ahead, my brother.
Kaleem El Amin,
Kaleem El Amin.
He used to run Friendship Youth Association.
In Belize, that was Michael Young.
Yeah, right. So, with that dynamics going on, you had to, and plus Nuri Muhammad.
Or Simon.
Yes, so you had to be inspired with that, nucleus of people around you.
Yes.
And back then, as you know, we used to have town hall meetings at St. Mary's. We used to have town hall meetings at Bliss, in different places, and dealing with police brutality, dealing with the Guatemala issue, dealing with a range of social and economic issues, and we didn't just leave it there. We used to go on the street side. And you mentioned some of those earlier. Pink Jungle,
I remember some of those.
Yabra, and
to clean the canals.
Yeah. And we used to talk to people what they need to do about their communities.
Yes.
And of course, we not only clean the Belize Canal, but we also build parks. Put up swings.
Wow, look at that, Belize.
So. And to be honest, all you had to do is, if you want to put up a swing in the community, you go and talk to the Belize City Council. If you provide the manpower and the work and the labor, they're going to provide the sand and the bulldozer and trucking the sand.
They're going to support you.
They're going to support you. And this is what a lot of people doesn't know even today. That if you want certain projects in your community done, you could go to the city council, you could go to the board of directors or whatever, and say, hey, this project I like, and we have a volunteer group that is willing to, foot the labor, and 99.9% of the time they would, and that's what we did back in the 1970s.
At the time when you were doing that, who was the mayor, Paul Rodriguez, or who was the mayor? Because you were very astute in terms of going to these people.
Well, Nuri Muhammad was the one that did
all the connections, and did the networking.
Right.
And you just went to work. And
probably Sister Hanifa,
and then you brothers just went to work and did the work.
We were the manpower.
You just did the work.
Yeah, we did the work, But that's and that's Bilal. That's what I learned very early in my teenage life. That if you want certain things done, you got to do it yourself. You can't just be complaining. If you want to bring about change, you have to bring about the change yourself.
This is Belizean Legends, and I am Bilal Morris. And today we are speaking with Brother Saeed Rasool, a dynamic Belizean Muslim that comes way back from the inception of the Muslim community in Belize, not as early as Abraham Abdullah Justice X and Shabazz, and then when Saeed Rasool came in the early 70s during the imamship of Imam Nuri Muhammad. Saeed, when you talk about that period, man, and as a youngster, I used to go by that Islamic community on Racecourse Street all the time. I always remember your figure. you're standing in there. Many Belizeans will remember you selling at the ice cream parlor. And what I used to love about you is that whenever you go by there, you were engaged in some constructive talk.
Yes. It was like the barber shop.
Yes, man.
Yeah.
You know, but all these intellectual people from Barney Lopez to you know, Victor Lewis to Albert Tucker, all these intellectuals, and Saeed Rasool would be right there, and he would take them all on.
Arguing.
Yeah, and brother, that was a very powerful image you presented, Saeed.
Right.
And I want to talk about that little university that built right there at Racecourse Street. Talk about that.
Yeah, you know, it's like in Islam. When I embraced Islam, I realized that there was so much knowledge I didn't have, and I just started cobbling up everything.
Yes.
And I stopped reading fictions. So I was just reading, you know, about Malcolm X, you know, Martin Luther King, you know, Fidel, you know, what's the name of the Che Guevara, you know, Mao Zedong, you know, read about the different revolutionary leaders, and then it's about incorporated into the Belize, you know, diaspora, you know, in the Belize circle. How could I implement this in the Belize, you know? And the key thing is that you have to do it yourself. Somebody has to make the sacrifice, and that's what that zeal and that drive was coming from, you know. Wherein, you know, hey, you have a platform, people are going to come in and, you know, you discuss the latest issues, the political issues, the social issues, you know, and it was fun. That's why now, you know, I'm into the social field now, you know. And people used to ask me, well, Saeed, what university you went to? I say I went to the Islamic University, you know. Yeah,
very much. Brother, your work in terms of working with Nuri Muhammad, talk about the Islamic community, how it was built from the ground up. I mean, when you came in, you already met the work being done.
Right.
But talk about the work that went on in the big jungle, the social activism that you were a part of. Talk about how that work should be important today as it was then. The things that you're doing now. We have gang problems, Saeed, high violence, black on black crime. In your time when you were going into Majestic Alley and Big Jungle, you all were respected. They listened to you. Today, these youths in that country don't appears like they want to listen to nobody because the family structure has been destroyed. We came up in a structured family structure. You had that in your home. Me and you had that. They have a dysfunctional family structure. Talk about how you all were able to do that then. What made you all able to go out and have them listen to you? Yeah.
Well, even though the situation might have been different today, wherein, you know, the woman or the aunt may have brought up the kids, but still we had a structure.
Yes.
You know, so it may have been strained right now, extremely strained, probably on its last leg, so to speak.
Yes.
But I think that dynamics have been there for a long time. Wherein the fathers were absent, man.
Oh, see, so he did saying something right there. That it has been going on even during
yes.
time.
And what I found out in New York with working with gang area, I worked as a Marine Corps recruiter out in the gang area. You could work in any gang area or any gang, you know, place that they say they are in control of. All you got to do is get their respect.
Yes.
And you got to go in and talk to the leader. And say, hey, this is what I want to do.
And that's what you saw in Majestic Alley too, why you were able to go in and they listened to you.
Yes.
We
were able to go to Majestic Alley and Pink Jungle and talk to the man that was selling the weed. You see what I'm saying?
It's difficult to do.
Yeah. And he made sure he patronized the Belizean news.
Wow. He bought them.
He bought every time he has to pick up his Belizean news. And then he would say, hey, bro, you know, they got no deep in this last one. And he used to read the Belizean news. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah, like listen to that, Belize.
So you had to gain their respect.
Yes.
And that's what I learned even more so when I was in New York.
Yes.
As long as you could gain those guys' respect, I was able to go as representative of the United States Marine Corps and work with getting their kids. Now they say, hey, this lifestyle is not good for them, right? So in Belize, for us as a community to get back, and start doing some of the work, we got to go and talk to some of the drug leaders and the gang leaders and say, hey, this is what I want to do for our community.
So even most of the time they will support. So you can talk about the time, how vibrant it was then, and for a lot of the Muslims that came from that community, they have become disenchanted that those things are not happening anymore the way you all used to do it then. And more now, they are so frustrated that the Islamic community of Belize need to be more so now proactive because the times have gotten worse than that time.
We have become a part of the status quo.
Exactly. What do you think needs to be done in terms of having the Muslim community get back out there in the streets again and do the kind of work like you talk about that used to be done in the time?
I guess we got to make some commitment and go down there as organized group, and probably start something like this, And again, we could go down there and train youths to do this. Have short seminars, and within the Muslim community, and social work, and setting up small seminars like this wouldn't be expensive. You just have to plan it
and train
and execute some training, and we could stay down here.
Send the soldiers right back into the the battlefield that you trained.
Yes, sir. Because it's a rewarding. When you could serve the community, it's rewarding.
Indeed, brother.
Indeed. So inshallah, that's probably something that we could work on.
Brother,
in the future.
Very much so. And when I speak with your colleague Nuri Akbar, who you and him were like team, you were a pair. And he spoke so highly of you all the time. I mean, my coming into Islam. The first word I hear from Nuri Akbar Estrada was Saeed Rasool. First Muslim. And you all had worked as a team together, and he speak about how much you fired him up in terms of giving him, he felt supported when Saeed is there to him, and you all are going into Pink Jungle and stuff like that. Saeed, the times have really changed, and the community has maybe gone into a different kind of thing, concentrating more on theology and less on social activism and social work, which is all good and everything like that. And there are communities right here in the United States who don't really, they're all theology, but they don't go out and do no outreach. There is no outreach program. I mean, we study the work of Hassan al-Banna and the Islamic Brotherhood of Egypt. We see these people go out. That's the dawah. They don't. That's Islam. It's a dawah. It's a thing where you go out and you propagate. You go out and you work with people.
Right.
And your work, brother, has shown that. What is one of the plans for you? I know that you have no problems in maybe contributing in terms of transferring knowledge, but do you see yourself beginning, starting, like you said, you would like to train? But how would you do it? Would you set up an organization, or would you set up something that comes from out of the Islamic Mission, or would you think what should be your approach today?
Well, you want it to be a part of the Islamic community. Back in Belize, so you organize it from within under that banner. And this way you get maximum participation from the members there, because many times you could be zealous and you go and start something there, but if you're not there to manage it, sometimes it's just going to fall apart. But if you start from within and you get young men and women to be as fired up as you are about it, and seeing the need for it and knowing the impact it would have in the community, it's until you get them engaged, So inshallah, it's something that we could explore, but it's something definitely that I want to do. because ever since I came to the United States, I've been giving to the United States a whole lot.
We've been doing.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But at the same time, I've been setting the foundation where I could, now, go to Belize and I don't have to worry about finances. I don't have to worry about
it's very important.
Yes,
very important.
Yes, whether or not I'm going to have money for a car, my car, paying my utilities, or the families, financially strapped for cash.
Yes.
That's over now, Bilal.
So financially established to go
financially established,
to do the work that you want to do.
So inshallah, I should be able to go back, spend a couple of weeks, spend a couple of months down in Belize and make some contribution.
Beautiful.
So, but I am the type of guy. It's like my wife say, "Hey, so go ahead and get a PhD."
Yes.
But I say, "Hey, I'm still completing my internship. After I finish my internship, then I'll go ahead and do the PhD program." But I'm the type of guy, I don't like to, put too much on the plate. I take one thing at a time, and I try to do the best, best way I could.
Which is the Islamic way.
Yeah. But inshallah, God willing, I plan to go back and make a contribution, in the social field, because there's a great need for it.
Again, the style that you all learned,
right?
You took that from Belize to in the Marines, into the recruitment program, work with the gangs in New York and stuff like that. But it's that training that you got on the ground in Belize that had given you that ability to be able to go in and do those things. Then you talk about that community right there, that one little building, and I remember that building had a library. You were an avid reader because you read about all the great revolutionaries, leaders, right at that very library. Where did your education, most of your education came right out of that library at Islam?
Well, Sister Hanifa picked out the book for me.
Yes. Talk about that, brother.
She would say, "All right, you gotta read the Cage Bird. You gotta read this. You gotta read this." And she guided me to certain books, like, all right, how to respect women.
Yes.
How to respect struggle. How to continue to struggle. How not to give up.
Yes.
But so Alhamdulillah, all praise due to Allah.
Bless her heart, man.
That's why when she was out of pocket in Africa, I felt like a little lost, and then when I heard she came back, I tried my best to make contact with her immediately, So because she have contributed so much to my life, she was like that older sister I never had, or that mom that wasn't there, when I was growing up, So Alhamdulillah, and I'll be honest, I didn't have no mentor in my life educationally, and this is where I got my mentor from. From Sister Hanifa.
Wow,
and Nuri Muhammad,
Many Belizeans may know her as Eleanor now, and Sister Hanifa that we're talking about today played a big role and you are one of the product of that dynamic sister there, and which shows to a lot of non-Muslim people that women in Islam play very important roles. Look at the roles, the impact Sister Hanifa had on you, brother.
We might be out front, but it's these sisters, that pushed us on.
Background that is doing
It's like I told people, it was Sister Malika. I forgot her, or her name, but she said, "Hey, Saeed, she called me by my name. She said, you got to come and check this out." And I didn't argue with her. I just went, So these women showed a lot.
The impact that Nuri Muhammad had in your life in terms of an imam of the community at that time. Talk about it.
The impact, when you respect a brother, but you also seem like a dad. That's the role that Nuri have then and today.
Wonderful, so beautiful.
And all praise due to Allah. I have never had a fight or hassle with him.
Yes.
You know, I didn't agree with everything that he pursued. Yeah, and I usually tell people this
and
one,
which is healthy in Islam.
Yeah,
You know,
yeah.
you're not going to agree on everything.
Right. I told Nuri, I said, Nuri, there was an offer for you to go to Saudi to study Arabic.
Yes.
I wanted you to go to that.
Yes. Yes.
Leave this community.
Yeah.
Pick up the Arabic.
Yes.
Pick up the qualification of quote unquote being that Arabic speaking imam.
Yes.
You know, that knows fiqh,
Yes.
you know, jurisprudence, you know, hadith, sunnah,
Yes.
you know, and be able to eloquently express it in Arabic terminology. But he was afraid to, where he didn't want to leave the community.
Yeah, he mentioned that to me in an
Yeah.
exclusive interview I did with him for a documentary on the Muslim community of Belize, that he gave up all those things and he could have gone
Yeah,
and enjoyed them because the Jamaican scholar Bilal Phillips had came and offered them to him.
Yeah.
He passed them on to others.
yeah,
And because he wanted to stay with the community there.
Right,
He
right.
believed that he could earn the same amount of knowledge right there by just reading and his self-study. The role also of Ishmael Omar Shabazz in your life, Saeed.
Right.
Talk about that.
Well,
You
you know, Grung Tour, Simple Brother.
Yeah.
You know, walk around with a plastic bag and you have the stuff in it, you know. But this brother, you know, he after I graduated from technical, he gave me my first mechanic job.
Look at that.
You know, so I worked with him,
Shabazz.
you know, Shabazz.
Yeah.
So he gave me my first. So we were able to grow very close together.
Very much. Very much.
And then I did the Salam restaurant business, and again we were always close together with him. But he was the type of guy that was always working on a project, always working on some project.
Yes.
If it's not more tomorrow, you know, the farming deal.
Yes.
He'd be working on some new newspaper production,
Yes.
or you know, some working on a piece, getting the Islamic land.
Yes.
You know, working on probably some legal stuff.
Yes. Yes.
But he was always working on a variety of stuff. So you could see this dirty guy in a mechanic clothes.
Yes.
But he was, you know, today he's working mechanics.
Well, dealing with land.
Yeah, but tomorrow he's up in Belmopan talking to the minister.
Yes, sir.
You know?
Yes, brother.
And that was the beauty of Shabazz.
That's the beauty of Shabazz.
And he continued this, man, you know?
Yeah.
That longevity, you know?
Very much.
So alhamdulillah, you know, inna lillahi wa inna ilaihi raji'un, you know, may Allah bless him and protect him, you know.
Allah bless him, man.
Yeah, yeah.
Bless him very much.
Yeah, but his impact on me was to say, hey, you could do all of these.
Yes. Motivation.
Yeah. Nothing is too hard.
Yes, that's what
You know?
Shabazz.
Yeah. You could take on any challenge.
Very much so.
You know, if you don't know it, train yourself.
Yeah.
You know, and that was one of the spirit. I hope that we could encourage young people today,
Yes. Yeah.
right? Regardless of what, right, the challenge might be.
Yes.
If John or Billy could achieve it,
Yes.
you could achieve it.
Achieve it.
Whatever you put your head to, you could
You
do.
can do it.
You know,
can do
it might take you a long way to get it,
Yes.
but you could do it.
Very much.
And that's what Brother Shabazz taught me, man.
Yes, indeed. And taught me too, Saeed.
Yeah,
And taught
yeah.
Nuri and all of us who was blessed to be around that dynamic
Yeah,
Belizean Muslim figure named Ishmael Shabazz.
And he always had a lot of history, a lot of
Oh yes,
documentary.
he was the school.
Yes,
He was the school that you never had.
Yeah.
You know. Yeah.
You go in and you pick up a piece of paper that looks just like a regular piece of paper, and you say, he give you a history behind that.
Yeah.
And you take it to him and put it back.
Yeah.
Leave the paper right where it
Very
is, you
much
know.
so, very much
Yeah,
so.
but
Yeah.
very good brother.
Very good. I just want to finally ask you, what message do you have for the Belizean, both at home and abroad? As a worker, as an activist in your time, Muslim coming out of the Belize Muslim community, and one that used to know top figures like Saeed Musa, the Prime Minister. You were key with people like that. The former Prime Minister of Belize, Saeed Musa, you were working with people like that when you did your activism. What message do you have for the Belizean people today?
You know, coming up in Belize, I still talk to my patients about it. How sometimes I go to school and I didn't have anything to eat. Sometimes I go to school and I had to put a piece of cardboard in my tennis shoe so that my foot doesn't get on the pebbles, right? So it's like, you know, there's a little picture with the frog in the mouth of the stalk, and he's holding the stalk, you know. He said, never give up. Right? So that's the message I would like to pass on to my Belizean people. Regardless of how hard things are economically,
look in that camera, brother, and tell them.
Right? Regardless of how hard things are economically, socially, politically, don't give up. Never give up. Always continue to fight. Always got to continue to fight. Yeah.
And with that, Brother Saeed, I want to say Assalamu alaikum, my brother.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Alhamdulillah, and thank you again for coming in and sharing with our viewers.
Yes.
Beautiful story.
Yes, sir.